Howdy, everybody. So, this is the second episode of the W2H Rut Club Radio, and I got to get into my call here. Bear with me, folks. Be great if I could actually take some calls. Stand by. I call myself into the thing here. I got all excited and forgot a step. Hang tight.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter That was an invalid show number. Please enter your 6-digit PIN number. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface. Show recording is
now
on
I'm good to
dual
go.
channel.
And I totally goofed there, so just kind of getting all caught up. Stand by 1 second longer. There's a lot to deal with here. So, okay, I'll take a moment. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. It looks like my audio, I believe, is working. Holler if you can't hear me, or comment. I know I had an issue with this last week. Just trying to get everything going here. Test. We'll see how it goes. Okay, if you can hear me, let me just write in the comments because I can fix this if it's not working, hopefully. Can you hear me? Question mark. There we go. I'm online. Boom. Facebook finally caught up with me here, so it's kind of lagging. Okay, today on the show, if you call in, you're going to get a chance to win some cover scent. This is a product by Heated Hunts. As you can see, they are the sponsor for this particular segment of the Where to Hunt podcast. It makes a lot of sense, I think, as the rut heats up, go with Heated Hunts. And this particular product is their 5X Dirt. It's a cover series. They have a couple other scents too. This is the one that we're going to give away today. The other ones are Sweet Corn that I'm aware of, and then an attractant one. So as the show continues into the season, every single week on this segment, I will enter anybody that calls into the show into a drawing to win some of their products, whether that be the heated scent dispenser, which I have a hard time saying, or cover scents, or even the actual synthetic deer scents themselves, or bear attractants. There's a lot of products that they have to offer. Also some swag. This is a really comfortable shirt, hats, etc. So pretty easy to qualify. Just call into the show. That's it. And hopefully you guys can hear me. I think maybe you can. Technology is awkward. So, and I'm not a real big tech guru, so it's tricky for me sometimes, I think. I assume it's working. I feel like it still isn't working. No, yeah, I think it should be good. Thank you, Reinhardt. I appreciate that. I never know. But by the way, guys, go ahead and if you can share this to get some calls coming in, that would be helpful. Otherwise, it's going to be me talking. You know, I did have a buddy of mine send in some pictures. I was hoping he'd call in. I'm not sure if he's got the availability, but he had seen some really nice bucks on public land. He's been spotting them every single evening. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate it. And thanks for the coffee. So he's been patterning these deer in the I think he said the evenings. And so he wants to do a morning hunt, but he was kind of concerned. He's like, well, you know, if I do a morning hunt, I don't know what their pattern is yet, but I know what they're doing in the evening. So, you know, he's just kind of getting ready. Like I was saying on Instagram a little bit ago, our hunt here in Wisconsin, our bow season opens this Saturday, the 14th, which happens to be 2 days after my daughter's 2-year-old birthday. So that is going to be her party date. So I might try to get out on Sunday afterwards. So we'll see what I can do. I hate mosquitoes, for those of you that know. I think they're the worst thing in the world. I call them devil bugs. They're just stupid. but they'll ruin a hunt real quick. And the temperature I thought was going to be colder. Looks like it's not really going to be that cold. It's really balmy out today, actually. It's kind of humid and almost hot. It's just a really kind of awkward transition kind of phase of the season. So, but I'll hang out for for a little bit. We got 25 minutes to take calls. Tell me what you're seeing, where you're seeing it, if you're seeing anything. If you got a story from last year, we'll take it. That's what we want. We want to get excited about deer hunting. So if you want to share this, do a watch party, whatever, to get some other folks calling in, tag some friends in comments. What up, Rob? What up, Jason? Mike, how's it going? Wade, Connor. Dude, you guys, thanks for freaking tuning in. Go ahead and call into the show if you can. I know everyone's kind of busy. I don't know why I think everyone's going to drop what they're doing to call, but the number's listed right here on the screen, the 262-757-4122. I'll throw it in the comments just in case, 262-757-4122. Go ahead and give us a jingle and tell us what you got, where you got it, or share a story from last year. It's pretty straightforward. Then you can qualify to win. We gave away, I think we had 4 calls last week on the show, and we ended up giving away one of the scent dispensers to Jared. He was the big winner, and he said he's never won anything in his life, which I find that hard to believe. Just give him some shit. Otherwise, I will be switching from the coffee to the scotch when I go live at 7 o'clock with Chris Johnson with Johnson Outdoors. So that'll be cool. Sounds like a helicopter just went by. Holy crap. And if you notice behind me, the wall it's mostly finished. I spent the rest of last weekend getting that done. And I'm going to get a metal sign of the Where to Hunt logo behind me, as well as a shelf to hold all of my scotch and some of the antlers that I got laying around from years past, just to kind of spruce it up a little bit. So that'll be, I don't know, I'm excited about it, of course, but that's what's going on. I did get access to, I'm just talking to myself because no one's called in yet. So if anyone wants to call in, I'll stop talking to myself. And if not, I'll just keep talking to myself. I'll do this till 6:30. I won't get tired of it. I did get access to conservancy property here in Wisconsin. So you put in a drawing earlier in the year, and then this conservation nonprofit will draw your name if you win. It's like $10 or $15. And if you get picked, then you get to hunt one of their properties. So it's private property with public access, which kind of thins out the herd of the public land hunting army, right? There's so many of us that go out on public property that, it gives me just a little bit more of a leg up or an edge up. Not an egg up, although an egg up sounds like a nice breakfast. What up, TJ? What up, Roman? If you guys got any deer activity or any target bucks or any trail cam activity that you want to report on, go ahead, give a call, and you'll enter to win a Heated Hunt product. Otherwise, if you got a story from last year, willing to listen to that too, would love to hear your stories about the rut last year. We had some good calls in last week that got me pretty jacked and excited about stuff. So would love to hear what y'all have going on, where you have it going on. I know we got calls calling in from all over the country in some cases, so I'll continue to hang out and talk to myself until someone, all you guys got to do is pick up the phone, share it, tag a friend, write their name in there, the @ symbol, right? Make it real easy. Tell them to call. I might even give you a gift card. We'll see. I don't know what I got to dangle in front of everybody here to get a call to come in, but last year we launched this thing, and last week I launched this thing, and I had calls filled up in the queue pretty fast. Just gotta take a breath here, man. Holy crap. So we have one person watching on YouTube, a few of you watching on Facebook, 0 on Twitter, big shocker there. I don't know if anyone even goes to Twitter anymore. I don't know. I think it's a fire hose. There's just a lot there. I know Trump goes there. There's that. So back to the conservancy property stuff. The tract that I have access to is pretty big. I had access to it 2 years ago. and that was the same year my daughter was born. And I had a 5-year hot streak of getting deer every year. And then I think I had a 2 or 3 year slump. And it was right after my daughter was born that, that same year, 2017, I got a deer on that property. So I'm excited to go back to there again. Although last year I got access to a different property from the same conservancy and ended up seeing more bucks than I could shake a stick at. I didn't get any, but it was probably one of the more exciting hunts I ever had. So we got one caller that's getting screened right now. As soon as they're done getting screened, I will bring them into the show. Stand by. So we got Roman from McGuanago. What up, dude? How you been?
Hey man, I've been good. I just kind of logged in and listened to you here. I don't really have any trail cams or big bucks or anything. In all honesty, I just wanted to share the fact that my summer's been so busy and so booked up that I honestly didn't even know that deer season started this weekend for us, bow season. And I was laying in bed last night talking to my wife, and I said, I got all this vacation I haven't used this year, and got to look at what time when deer season starts. And holy smokes, man, it's this Saturday. I don't have a license yet. I haven't even picked up my bow. I haven't even looked at any of my gear from last year to see if I got updated anything or get any new stuff. And in all honesty, man, it's just been such a crazy busy summer that I completely forgot. And I'm starting to get a little excited now, though. I'm going to go downstairs tonight, pick up my stuff, and kind of take a look at everything and hopefully get out and at least shoot some this week.
Well, dude, that's a lot of us, though. I got all this stuff happening, right? This show, all this stuff, and it's tough to fit in, especially when you got kids and a family and a job. It's crazy. And this summer was awkward, so it really did sneak up on everyone, I think, or it's taken us by surprise a little bit. So the excitement's kind of coming in all at once, it seems.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that when I do grab my gear and go through it, I don't run into any major surprises, or that when I do get out and hopefully on a lunch break or something this week, I can get out and at least get to an indoor range somewhere and make sure I'm sighted in and still shooting at a decent, still hit when I'm aiming at a little bit. But yeah, I'm getting excited. I'm kind of getting stoked now.
How did you do last year? Did you happen to have any luck last year? Do you have anything exciting to share?
No, last year I kind of went up to the same spot I always go up to my grandpa's place, and I've been kind of picky the last couple of years. Seen a few deer, no bucks, and nothing spectacular. It was more just about kind of getting out. Again, I was kind of a weekend warrior last year as well with everything going on, but I'm hoping this year. I've got no meat in the freezer this year, so I'm hoping to get something. I'll probably at least head out Saturday morning. Maybe Sunday, if the weather's not too warm or anything, I'd at least get out and locally somewhere on some public land and just at least sit for a couple hours.
Yeah, I'm thinking Sunday is going to be my day because my daughter's birthday party's on Saturday. I did shoot my bow quite a bit this last summer, but I decided to install or put on a new HHA single sight pin, and so I thought I'd have more time to get that dialed in. I'm putting it right under the line, or right under the wire here. I was out at Buck Rub in Dousman last weekend, just fine-tuning that. I feel pretty confident and comfortable with it. I'm going to go out one more time to a buddy's place and just let a couple rip and just make sure I'm good. I'm good up to 40. I just want to be really confident with that. It's not too different than my other sight that I had, but it's definitely just because it's new and getting it sighted in was kind of the thing I had to do there. Other than that, man, yeah, I got most of my gear ready. I happened to pick up one of those scent crusher bags a couple years ago, and that's really changed things for me. I can't speak to how effective it is in the woods. I still try to play the wind, but where I think I've gotten the most value out of it is I treat it like a washing machine. So I just throw my clothes in there and it cleans them is what it does.
Wow, okay.
So that's exciting.
I got a couple.
Oh, go ahead, man.
I got a couple new things I got last year that I never even got to try out. I got this. I sell some stuff at work that it's these shirts, and I can't remember. They're called Perimeter, I think. is the manufacturer of them, but they're supposed to be infused with the permethrin or something that kind of gets mosquitoes, that repels mosquitoes.
I got some
really
of those
kind of hoping to try that this year.
I don't know
I haven't
how
had
it
a
works,
chance to
but
time out, but I thought
that's a big one for early season, man.
Yeah, I thought it'd be great, yeah, for September when it's still 70 degrees out and everything's still green. At least get you to be able to sit out there and not get eaten alive by mosquitoes. So
it's awful, dude. They'll kill it for you real fast. But thanks for calling in, dude, and allowing me to not simply talk to myself. Right now, you're the only caller, so you have a 100% chance of winning some cover-up dirt spray. Which, look, I know we all buy that, and it doesn't seem like that glorious of a product, but dude, it's the one thing that I think we all just kind of do out of habit, right? When we get out of the truck and we put our stuff on, just get a couple squirts, right? So unless someone else calls in, you're it. And unless someone else calls in, it's still 50-50. So, I appreciate you calling in, dude.
Well, hey, man, good luck this season. I look forward to, listening to more of your podcasts. I hope you get some guys to call in for you.
All right. Thanks, bud. You have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye. So who else has been just totally taken off guard by the fact that it's going to be here? Like, Tonson, you just posted 4 days away. I'm assuming then you are likely from Wisconsin or somewhere close. I don't know what the other season's openers are. I think Tennessee is open. Kentucky is open, I believe. What up from Iowa? Jose, how's it going? Bruce, a.k.a. Haas, Ritter Clark, what's going on? I got to get some of your product, Bruce, onto my arrows because when they hit the target, you can tell that they're not as heavy as they need to be. So definitely need to get some ethics going on in my arrows sooner than later so I can continue to have that confidence when I'm shooting in the season. But right now I'm mostly dialed in. I'm pretty comfortable with that. I could maybe level up a little bit more. But the season opener feels like it came out of completely nowhere, and that's saying a lot for a guy that's pretty checked into the stuff with all of the podcasting and whatnot. But by the way, guys, if you want to win, your chances are pretty good right now because Roman is the only caller. And so I don't have to use the random name generator. I can just say, hey, he won it. If you guys want to win some Heat Hunts products, all you got to do is call in. We'll switch off every other week to something a little more basic to something maybe a little bit bigger from them. So just keep that in mind as you're looking October 1st in Iowa. So that's still right around the corner. Maybe it'll be less mosquitoes then. I freaking hate mosquitoes. They're just terrible. Roman mentioned using that I can't say the word. Someone might want to spell it out for me, but I bought some of that stuff last year too. I had a face netting thing that had it in a hat. And then I have it to spray my clothes too, which I think it was really designed for like ticks and stuff, but it's supposed to be like a nerve agent for mosquitoes. I don't know that it has a real crazy smell, so I don't know that I'd worry that much about it, but getting that stuff where it has it woven into the fabric, it sure sounds great. I really would hope that it works. We'll see. And then, so what is that? Sunday is the 15th. I tagged out last year and on the 11th. That's pretty quick, Jose. That's super quick. That must have felt pretty good. And that was in Iowa. I hunt close to Iowa for gun. I hunt Grant County in Wisconsin. That's right along the Mississippi and where the Wisconsin River meet. I'm not sure how close you are to that, but you should post a picture of what you got on this feed. I'd love to see it. I'm sure everyone else that's tuned in would also. We got maybe 12 more minutes left of me hanging out here looking to take some calls from folks before I switch gears and go to the live show with Chris Johnson with Johnson Outdoors. So if y'all want to call in, you got about 10 minutes before I cut it off. Otherwise, it's kind of boring with me just talking to myself and about how much I hate mosquitoes because they're just the fucking worst. I don't know what I would do if I filled a tag by the first week. I think my wife would be like, "Oh, so you're done now?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm not." I think for me, I want to fill the freezer first, unless I see something that I think is really exciting. And it doesn't take much to get me excited, by the way. But my goal early season will be to see if I can just get some meat in the freezer. So Jose got a buck in Central Iowa, 155-inch target buck on the farm. Nice work, dude. That's super cool. When you hunt the farm, what are you hunting out of? Are you hunting like out of a tree or a blind? Do you have something set up like a ladder stand? What does that look like for you out on the farm, Jose? And since no calls are calling in, maybe just jump in on the comments. Like, raise your hand if you're super freaking busy with kids, family, work, side jobs, projects, etc. And you are completely unprepared, or go the other direction. And I don't know if you can hit like the heart button on this thing, but heart it up if you are completely prepared, ready to go. It could be opening day tomorrow and you're set. I saw one heart fly through. One. Does that mean one person's ready to go? Lance, what's going on, buddy? Jose is good to go. I'm just about there. I'm probably like 92% ready to go. I just want to do some system checks, I guess. But I'm pretty much ready. Thanks, Roman. Jose, you're probably busy. Like, anytime someone's commenting like this, they're at work and they can't pick up the actual phone. That's usually the case. Are you? I can't blame you. But we'll be live again at 7 o'clock with a guest, so y'all can call back in. It's just going to be a different tone, different conversation. So this part of the segment is really for you. This is your show. This is your segment. This is for you to call in. And as the season kind of gets going here, hopefully we're going to get more and more and more as there's more to actually report on. Right now, I'm just trying to build some momentum. Drink coffee, talk to myself. What up, Rob? I'm not ready. Trying to get stuff together so I can possibly get out this weekend. Dude, but that's great. What do you got to do to get ready still? What are you trying to get ready for this weekend still? Because for me, I got to go through just a little bit of my gear. That's really it. And honestly, like I was telling Roman, that Scent Crusher bag has really changed things for me. I'm pretty jacked about it. All right, Jose has decided to call in. What's up, Jose? You're live on the show.
How's it going?
Good, man. You get sick of hearing me talk to myself?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, no, but I'm not busy. I got my son here with me, but I was able to call in for a couple minutes anyway.
Thanks, man. So you're ready to go, and you got a 155-inch buck last year.
I did the afternoon of October 11th. Hurried up from work, and I was in my stand by, I think it was like 4:50, and the buck was on the ground by like 5:05.
Damn, dude. So what was he doing? Like, what was he just strolling through and you got lucky, or like was he?
Yeah, well, the farm I got 4 cameras. I've been setting them the same spot every year for the last 5 years. I think I've been hunting this farm. And this buck had been hitting every camera. It's almost like he just did one big circle around the farm. And then he would leave for 3 or 4 days. And then he'd come back. He'd come back and do the same thing again. He'd hit all my cameras, and then he'd be gone again. Well, when I showed up that afternoon of the 11th to hunt over a clover fruit plot, I climbed up in my stand, and I hung my bow, and I got my backpack, and I was reaching in for my binoculars and face paint, and I looked off to the west, and I seen a buck. I couldn't tell how big he was or anything, so I threw up the binoculars. I realized it was a shooter. I didn't know which buck it was at that time. So I hung my backpack back up, knocked an arrow, swung around the tree kind of the way I got to stand facing. I kind of had to spin around to my right. By the time I did that, the buck was 50 yards in the food plot. He come in, was feeding around. Looked like he was actually going to go in the timber, but thank God he spun around and he come right to me, and I shot him at like 28 yards.
Damn, dude, that's not a bad shot at all. 28 yards is freaking perfect. I was just saying I'm dialed in at 40, so like that's a comfortable shot. I could handle that. And in a field like that too, that's not terrible. You don't got to worry about like a shooting lane or anything, hey?
Yep, it's the first buck I've ever shot out of my food plot. I've been putting food plots out for on that particular farm 4 years now, and I had never shot does off of it, but I've never been able to shoot a buck off of it. And last year was the first year I shot a buck off a food plot, and actually the first buck that I've ever shot that I've had history with, as far as having them on camera in the early season and into actual hunting season.
That's got to feel good. Do you have them on the wall, or it was what'd you do with them? Did you?
I got them mounted. Yep.
Super.
I got them. I got a shoulder mount.
So that's one you got to be just super proud of.
I'm very proud of. He's not my biggest, but he's one that I had some history with, like I was saying about having him on camera and stuff. And I'd never shot a buck that I had on camera, so that was for me myself, it was a big accomplishment, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. That'd be great. I mean, you said 4 years you've been planting food plots, and that's the one. I'd say that's totally worth it, right? 4 years of doing food plots, that's a lot of work.
Yep.
I mean, right?
Yeah, it takes a lot of time, takes money, obviously, and it's about 25 miles south of where I live, so I can only go over there on the weekends because of work, and so yeah, it felt good to be able to shoot a target buck, a mature buck, and being able to put him on the wall, especially early. October 11th, that's really early.
Yeah, take some stress off your plate, kind of, because the rest of us are like, oh my God, you start to beat yourself up. I'm not doing it right. I got to go. And you start to get in your head. It gets tough as the season goes on, I think, in some cases.
Yeah, after I shot him, I went live on Facebook, did a live video or whatever, and my wife's like, there's no way you shot a deer already, because she knows how much I struggle with shooting deer. I mean, I got some decent bucks on the wall, but I've had to work for them, and I shot my first buck ever. I shot him in Northeast Iowa, and he was 178 and 16-pointer. And then I shot him with my bow, and then I went on a 5 or 6 year spell where I just could not get anything in range. I missed one. I stuck one that I couldn't find. So, when I went live on Facebook and she seen that I had shot a buck, she couldn't believe it. And then she thought I was done, but she didn't know that I had 3 doe tags left to fill yet.
That's what I was just saying. If I got a deer that early, my wife's like, yay! And I'm like, nope, that's not how it works. Although she might win that one if it was a nice buck. It might be like, okay. But yeah, that's funny. That's why I want to get some meat first, because that makes that argument easier. No, if that's just the meat, honey, I gotta get some horns. They give me both tags, I got.
And then I was able to shoot my first muzzleloader buck last year also.
Oh, cool, man! I've never done that. I can't say I have.
So that was.
How far was that shot?
It was right around 200 yards.
Damn, dude! I didn't realize a muzzleloader was gonna go that far. That sounds far?
Yeah, I kind of knew. They got muzzleloaders now, the smokeless muzzleloaders. I know guys that are making 400-yard shots with them.
Holy crap!
And mine's just a cheap muzzleloader. It's an old muzzleloader I've had for 8 years, and it's kind of on its downhill slope. But I knew where it was hitting at 150 yards, and the farm that I was hunting, these deer come off this bluff, and they make their way through a hayfield, and then they come just at an angle down this hayfield, and then they take a hard right, and then they were going into a cut cornfield. So I put my ground blind in between the hayfield and the cornfield, and all the deer, I could see the deer coming off the bluff, and they were making their way into the hayfield clear northeast of me. It was probably 250 yards from when they first step out of when they first jump out of the fence into the hayfield. And it started getting dark, and I'm like, man, by the time they get down to me within 100 yards, it's going to be dark. So I ranged a doe she was about 208 yards, and that buck was just a little closer to me. So I figured he was about 200, 205 probably, somewhere in there.
Damn.
And I just held high, pulled the trigger, and of course, the smoke goes everywhere. And I didn't know if I hit him or not. All the deer took off running. Once the smoke cleared, all the deer were out of the field, and I'm like, oh man, maybe I completely missed. And so I got my flashlight, started walking up the hill, and to where they're all kind of standing when I shot, and I picked up blood, and he actually ran down towards me and actually died in the cornfield about 50 yards away from me.
Nice, dude.
So, yeah, okay, it was a pretty good year for me. I shot a decent buck the year before that. I shot a decent buck then on the same farm that I shot the one last year. So I've had 2 good years, but like I said, I've gone 5 or 6 years without getting a buck, without filling a buck tag, and it sucks.
Yep. So hopefully the ride continues for you, man. Keep us posted. Follow along if you don't already follow on like Instagram and all that stuff. We'd love to kind of see your season and story unfold. If you're not part of the W2H Rut Club group on Facebook, that's a great place for some of that stuff as things start to heat up. And you're going to be entered to win a heated hunt product today, the dirt cover scent. So, and every week we're going to be doing something different from those guys. So continue to tune in. It's the same day of the week, the same time every week. So we appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you.
Yep, I appreciate it. And like I said, I try to keep up on the lives as much as I can. Work kind of keeps me late, but I was able to get off early today. So
yeah, thanks, man. Thanks a whole bunch. Have a good night and good luck this season. We'll stay in touch.
Yep. Sounds good. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody, that concludes the Rut Radio because I got to switch gears. So we're going to move on. Come back on if you'd like. Certainly don't have to, obviously. But come 7 o'clock, if you don't know who Chris Johnson is with Johnson Outdoors, you're going to learn. He's down in Florida. He was in the Coast Guard. He's done some pretty cool things for our country. And he's just a downright good dude. He was up here in Wisconsin at Deer Fest, helping Scent Crusher out at their booth. And I met him down at the Working Class Bowhunter Shoot, finally in person this last summer. Just an exciting guy to talk to. He's one of those guys, in my opinion, that just can't have a bad day. He's just so optimistic and positive. So I'm pretty stoked to talk to him. And if you guys want to hear that, just come back on at 7 o'clock. And Mike, to answer your question, this is a segment of the podcast, so I do it as a separate show live to take the calls, and then I bake those calls into the podcast. So if you call into the show, you will be on the podcast. So great question. Thank you. And I got to go kick my cat over there for ruining my carpet, which I guess is old, so it doesn't matter, but I won't actually kick the cat. I'm just going to kick him out of the room. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.